Hello, I'd like to read you a little something from Thomas à Kempis, The Imitation of Christ. He says, "He who knows things as they are, and not as they are said or seem to be, he truly is wise and is taught of God more than of men. He who knows how to walk from within, and to set little value upon outward things, requires not places, nor waits for seasons for holding his communion with God. The inward man quickly recollects himself, because he is never entirely given up to outward things." Well, this is very beautiful. Let's go over it a little bit here. He who knows things as they are. So how do we know things as they are? You know from within. You know intuitively. You just see. When you were a little child, you saw things. You could see when someone was mean. You could see when there was an injustice. One child was being treated better than another. You saw it. No one had to teach you. You didn't have to go to school to learn it or take a college course. You just saw it. You saw many things when you were a little child. It's that clear perception, that seeing in light. Without words aren't necessary. It's not words. It's not images. It's not concepts. It's just seeing. Just seeing. Well, people who hang on to that. Einstein hung on to it. See, people hang on to it to some extent. The more extent you hang on to that, the better. Because eventually you are supposed to come full circle and come back to that beginning. See, when you came into the world, you were very close to God. And there began a journey through time and space. Your soul, in a body, began this journey through time and space. And for most people, alas, they get farther and farther and farther away from their Creator. But what you need to do is to start returning home like a salmon going upstream. You have to refine the beginning. You have to refine your Creator. Christ was close to his Father. He was always close to his Father. He never strayed. You could substitute the word Christ in here, in this reading. Christ knew things as they were, and not as they were said or seemed to be. He was truly wise and was taught of God more than of men. See, he didn't need to be taught of men. He taught. When he was a kid, remember, he went into the temple, started explaining the scripture, and the people there, including the learned ones, they were amazed. They said, "Where does he get this?" Well, his authority was not of this world. See, and what he knew from within. He knew intuitively. He saw. See, he had a clear perception. Well, that's what you need, to refine that. Then you're taught of God. So you don't need to be taught of men. See, men have feet of clay. They themselves are taught of other men, and they of other men and other men. Mark Twain said something about that. He said, we get our knowledge secondhand, he said. Secondhand from other people. And they got theirs secondhand. See? And not only that, but they may have been wrong in the first place. Probably was wrong. And if it wasn't wrong, then it was just theory, facts, figures, formulas, ideas, notions, slogans, but without love in it, without truth in it, without life in it. Christ said, "My words are life." And why were his words life? Because he spoke spontaneously. In the moment, he said what he saw. And it was right. See? And people doubted him. They said, whoa, what's this? See, they doubted him. He didn't doubt himself. To the extent that you hang on to that clear seeing and don't doubt it, then you become an Albert Einstein. See, he saw things clearly. He saw them intuitively. He just realized something, and he knew it was right. And they said he was unbudgeable. That's a made-up word, but it describes him. He was unbudgeable. And sometimes it was years before what he had said was actually proven. Later they did experiments, much later, and they confirmed what he knew, but he wasn't surprised because he knew it was right. Okay, he just knew. So that's what you must find. See, that is from God. To be able to see in the inner light, it's a gift. It's a gift from God. He doesn't give that to animals. No animals. Deer, raccoons, monkeys, dolphins, birds. They don't have that. But you have that ability to see in God's light. See? To see that, to realize truth. It's a wonderful gift. And you had it when you were a little child, but then you lost it. How did you lose it? Well, because you were emotionalized. You were upset. People didn't like it. See, some people, they can't stand the clear the eyes of a little child looking at them because they feel exposed. Their own rottenness, their own phoniness, their own plasticness, their shallowness, their evasiveness, their pretense is exposed, and they don't like it. See? So, Einstein sat at the back. There was a teacher that didn't like him. He didn't do well in school, you know, Einstein, because he was his own person. It cramped his style. It was too slow. It wasn't right. There was something wrong. It just wasn't for him, school. Well, there was a teacher who didn't like him. He said he sat in the room. And he said Einstein sat in the back of the room with a smirk, with a smile on his face. You know, I'm sure you understand how some people hate that. That's why little kids get slapped at the dinner table. The little child is happy, bubbling over with happiness and joy, and all of a sudden they get slapped, told to quiet down. See? Well, all right. So now it says here, he who knows things as they are, and not as they are said or seem to be, he is truly wise, and is taught of God more than of men. See, everywhere you have the teaching of men, people, the hand of man in everything. See? And so and look at the shape the world is in. It's not in very good shape at all. See? So you have to be careful. So two things is trusting more in what other people say than what you know in your heart. That's the first mistake. But see, you were separated from it. So how do we become separated? See, part of it is just sort of a mechanical thing, a simple thing. You almost can't help it when you're a little child. You're emotionalized. People upset you. They yell at you. They scream at you. They tease you. They confuse you. They threaten you. They pressure you. And you become upset. You react emotionally. But that emotion separates you from your own inner ground. See, to be close to the inner ground, you need time and space. See, to be able to discover things, to play, to think, to watch. See, you need time and space. Not constant pressure, not constant video games and texting and constant school and constant kids around you, 10, 20, 30, 40 kids around you. See, how you need time and space to discover, to wonder about life and about God's great universe, and to experiment with little things and play with things. And it takes time. Quiet time. Let's call it quiet time. That's a good term for it. Not just 5 minutes, but big blocks of quiet time. Whole summers of quiet time. Whole year. You know, this is so important. I don't think you parents understand how important this is. Isaac Newton. Any of you who have studied even a little bit of high school physics, you know how brilliant, how intuitive, what a great discoverer Isaac Newton was. Force equals mass times acceleration. All of our kinematics and gravity, the gravitational constant times mass 1 times mass 2 divided by radius squared. All of that and much more was all, he discovered it all. And it's still a good, it still works. Okay? Relativity adds something to it, of course, but it still works. It's brilliant. When did he discover it? He had many months. There was a plague, and he went off to the countryside to live in a house. I don't know if it was his mom's house or his aunt's house, I don't know, but he was there for months. And it was during that quiet time, out in the country, all by himself, that he did all of his thoughts and wrote in his journal and came up with all of this. Einstein, he made that spectacular year of 1905 when he wrote his 4 papers, including the special theory of relativity and the Brownian movement. He won his Nobel Prize for that. There was 4 of them. 1905. You know what he was doing? He had what people would consider to be a boring job, sitting in a patent office, looking at patents and checking them out. But he had lots of time, quiet. See? So why is that? Why is this quiet? Why did Christ often go off by himself? They said, "Where is he?" They woke up in the morning, he wasn't there. And they looked, and he was over on far away, out in the desert or out on the side of a mountain, praying. He needed quiet time. Why is that? To commune with the Father. See, we need that quiet time. Not sitting around playing with a video game. See,